Each news time, information is power. The current. The news headline. Breaking. IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu scheduled for emergency hearing on Thursday could be released on bail. The detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, is scheduled for an emergency hearing tomorrow, Thursday, that could lead to his release on bail. Sahara reporters exclusively learned on Wednesday that the hearing could open the door for Kanu's Kanu's release on bail, and this was confirmed exclusively to Sahara reporters by the counsel for the Nigerian government in the matter. It was also learned from Nigerian government lawyers that the move is in response to the fervent appeals by Igbo leaders for the release of the pro-Biafra agitator. Nnamdi Kanu is scheduled for an emergency hearing tomorrow that could lead to his release on bail, and this we remember that President Muhammadu Buhari had said on Friday, November 19, that he will consider the unconditional release of the IPOB leader as sought by Igbo statesmen from the southeast. Buhari had, however, added that such a request was a difficult option to weigh, but assured that he would give it a thought. Buhari said this while receiving a group under the aegis of highly respected Igbo greats, led by First Republic Parliamentarian and Minister of Aviation, Imba Zuliki Amici, at the State House, Abuja, earlier in November. Amici, in a Nigerian, described the situation in the southeast as painful and pathetic, lamenting that businesses have collapsed and education crumbling, and fear is everywhere. He had pleaded for a political rather than military solution, requesting that if Kanu was released to him as the only First Republic minister still alive, he, that is Kanu, would no longer say things he had been saying, stressing that he would control him. Not because I have anything to do with him, IPOB, but I am highly respected in Igbo land today. The presidential media aide, Femi Adesina, had revealed this in a statement titled President Muhammadu Buhari to Igbo leaders. Your demand for Nnamdi Kanu release is heavy. I will consider it. However, in his response, Buhari had said that you've made an extremely difficult demand on me as leader of this country. The implication of your request is very serious. In the last 6 years since I became president, nobody would say I have confronted or interfered in the work of the judiciary. God has spared you and given you a clear head at this age with very sharp memory. A lot of people half your age are confused already, but the demand you made is heavy. I will consider it. Stressing his policy of non-interference into the judiciary, the president said when Kanu jumped bail, got arrested and was brought back to the country, that the best thing was to subject him to the system and let him make his case in court instead of giving very negative impression of the country from the outside. I feel it is even a favor to give him that opportunity. The IPOB leader is currently standing trial at the Federal High Court Abuja for terrorism-related charges and also treasonable felony. Kanu was illegally arrested in Kenya and auditioned to Nigeria in June, and therefore there is said to be an emergency sitting for Nnamdi Kanu to seek his release, most probably. Jonathan was said to have urged leaders to focus more on building a united nations where no one nation or nations should be given more prominence. If the leaders deviate, there must be a dissension and frustration for those who feel they are not being treated fairly, he said. Jonathan, a former president and a member of graduate class in 1981 at the University of Port Harcourt, said the reunion program was part of a group of student activities aimed at strengthening relationships between older alumni. He also said it is a forum to discuss issues affecting their alma mater and bring them back to school and the community at large. For his part, King Tuna said it was good to reunite his classmates after 40 years apart. Saraki made this intention known before his visit to the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, on Tuesday in Makurdi, whom he called a good party man under the People's Democratic Party. According to the reports, Saraki was in Makurdi with former governor of Kogi State, Idris Wada, former national chairman of the PDP, Kawu Baraji, Senator Suleiman Adokwe, and chairman of Council Saraki for President campaign, Professor Iyowese Haya. A political party that cannot organize its affairs has no business leading this country. A party that has organized its leaders, its affairs, is ready to lead the country, and that is PDP. Saraki is said to have stated. Autumn, on the other hand, stated that the PDP was on a rescue mission to save Nigeria from the current all-progressive, Congress government. He also noted that Saraki was the first from the North Central Zone to declare his interest in running for president for 2023. The former governor of Kwara State also stated via his Twitter handle that he was ready to work with the party stakeholders in the North Central region while commending them for warm reception. He wrote, "I thank Governor Autumn and all our party stakeholders and supporters in the state for the warm reception, and I look forward to working with them to foster the growth and development of our party and our nation." Another breaking news is that the lawyer who sued celebrities for supporting NSAS reportedly killed in Anambra State, where the human rights law activist and lawyer Kenechukwu Okeke has reportedly been murdered in Anambra State. His family made the disclosure on Thursday, stating that Okeke was allegedly macheted by his attackers, numbering 7 in his compound, and a keg of fuel poured on him because he was lit up and left to burn to death, according to a report by Daily Post. The controversial activist had filed criminal complaints before a magistrate court in Abuja against 50 persons over their alleged involvement in NSAS protests last year. Some of the persons listed in the suit include Nigerian football star Kanu, musicians Folani Falano, better known as Faust, Innocent Idibia, aka Tsubaba, and David Adeleke, better known as Davido. Daily Post reports that Okeke was killed in Nkwo, near Onitsha, Anambra State, in the presence of his wife, Mrs. Blessing Odinakachi Okeke, and his little daughter. Okeke's wife was quoted as saying Kenechukwu was killed by his tenant. The tenant, Chia Adobe, was living in our house, but when he packed out without our knowledge and asked to be given 2 months of his rent and he left, we told him that he should have notified us that he was packing out. My husband was not around that very day he came, but I told him he packed out of the house without our knowledge, and our money should be given back. And he threatening to do, and he can't be refunded any money again. So, and he threatening to teach my husband a lesson. I called my husband and told him what the boy said, and that he should not come to confront him since they say he is a bad boy. My husband later reported the matter to the DSS and to the police. He was made to write an undertaking, but he was still coming to terrorize us. Sometimes he will come to our house and break open the gates and come in and pick whatever he wants to pick. One day he came to our house and my husband confronted him, without knowing that he had many boys with him downstairs. And before my husband could actually say anything or do anything, they macheted him. And the fuel we wanted to pour in our gen, they poured it on him and lit him up, and that was how my husband died. That day was Sunday and not everyone was around, and a few people around tried to quench the fire and also stop it from burning our house, and later we took him to the hospital in Enugu, and that was how he died. Thanks for listening.